Alright, so looks like both of the two remaining choices have the don't pick anything option and you get the bad end, so that's good. I won't miss those at least. What should I do? So the correct option is to sacrifice Serrano. That precedes the story. The can't bring myself to sacrifice her is the one you get if you don't pick anything, and that's a bad end. I stare at Serrano, sleeping peacefully behind the glass. I can't do it. I just can't bring myself to sacrifice her. There must be some way to beat him without sacrificing her. Even if her chances are slim, I want to bet on that possibility. That's my decision. I look up at Reina.
俺も犠牲には。
そうね。あの中にいる空野だってまだ生きてるんだから。
Reina calmly accepts my decision. But unfortunately, I have a gun. There's an explosive bang. Reina pitches forward onto the ground.
Reina!
I run over to Reina and lift her up, but she's not breathing anymore. There's a huge amount of blood pouring out of her back. I look up and see Aoi-san holding out her gun.
どうして？
Aoi-san drops the gun and looks down at her hand. She looks bewildered.
そんな、私。
Kuroda walks up from behind her.
いいぞ、葵くん。なかなか悪くないじゃないか。
黒田。
Aoi-san's expression and Kuroda's response. Kuroda must have used some kind of power on Aoi-san. I look over at Aoi-san again, and suddenly she's standing right in front of me. Her expression is devoid of all emotion.
Aoi-san!
Before I can finish speaking, Aoi-san extends her hands and wraps her fingers around my throat. She presses down tightly, and I can't breathe. My body is lifted up. Geez, she's strong. I try to move my legs, but all I end up doing is kicking empty air.
諦めろ。君たちの負けだ。
Aoi-san's clearly using more strength than she actually should have. I desperately try to get her fingers off my throat, but her grip doesn't weaken no matter how much I struggle. In fact, it only continues to get stronger. I desperately try to suck in air, but nothing goes into my lungs. Blood rushes to my head, and it feels like I'm about to burst. My consciousness slowly starts to fade away.
葵くん、生かさず殺さずだ。
Kuroda's disgusting voice is the last thing I hear before losing consciousness. Where am I? When I next open my eyes, I'm surrounded by a deafening silence. My vision is blurry and the only light's coming from a faint glow near my feet. I try to move my arms and legs, but it feels like they've been locked in place and don't move at all. I try to say something, but realize I can't even move my mouth. All I'm able to do is barely move my eyes. I focus my eyes and after a while my vision grows a bit clearer. Then when I move my eyes to the right and try to see where I am, I stare in shock. There's a girl to my right. Serrano. Serrano's right next to me, with her eyes closed. When I see that, I finally realized the reason why my vision was so blurry, I'm a tube person now, and why I can't move. Right now I'm inside one of those black capsules. I become just another one of Kuroda's harvested. I couldn't protect the people important to me, or the future they entrusted me with. I couldn't even protect myself. I'm sorry, Serrano. I'm sorry, Reina. I apologize over and over to those I couldn't save from inside my little capsule. Then I hear a low humming noise and my vision goes dark. Surrounded by darkness, I lose consciousness. Welcome to the tube, kid. We're gonna use your cool punching powers for evil instead of good. Alright, how far back is this gonna send me? Actually, that was about where what I first started at. That's not bad. Anyway, we don't want to be two-person this time, so we're gonna choose to sacrifice Serrano. I've decided.
装置を止めよ
ひろき、本当にそれでいいの？
う。ああ。生きてここを出よう。
Of course, Serrano is still precious to me. But we're the only people who can stop the person who ruined the lives of Serrano and everyone else trapped in here. The person who drove Aoi-san into a corner. The person who nearly killed Kakeru. The person who's committed countless sins. We're the only ones who can stop Kuroda. Now's the time to use the life Serrano sacrificed herself to protect. I need to do this for Serrano, who wished for a better future, who believed I'd be able to preserve the balance of the world. And also for Reina, who is the only reason I'm alive right now. Reina looks down at her feet for a moment before saying,
わかった。ここまで来られたのは、ひろきがいてくれたから。
Reina smiles gently as she says that.
だから、ひろきの一番大切だと思うものを、私も信じる。
レーナ、ありがと
う。Reina's accepted my choice.
君たちが出した答えはそれか。
Kuroda says expressionlessly as he hears our answer.
そうだ。あんたの計画はここで終わりだ。
この後に及んでおめでたい発想だな。
Kuroda smiles. It's like he doesn't care about our declaration at all. He's underestimating us, thinking there's no way we'd be able to shut down the capsules.
ここにいる全員を一人一人殺していくつもりかね。
Rage wells up within me when I hear Kuroda say that. However, it's true that that's basically what we're going to do. But I've already decided. I slowly stand up. I face off against Kuroda. When suddenly I hear a metallic click behind me.
Aoi!
Oh, she's got a gun! When I turn around, Aoi-san's pointing a gun at me.
Hiroki.
No, we're going to kill Serrano.
違う。そうじゃないんです、葵さん。
そうだ。いいぞ、葵くん。
Kuroda slowly walks over to Aoi-san.
黒田。
おっと、動かないでいただけるかな、楠原くん。君のその能力は確かに称賛に値するが、不死になったわけではないということを覚えておいた方がいい。君を本当の意味で殺すことは不可能ではないだろう。それにたとえ君が死ななかったとしても、折笠くんに死んでもらうだけだ。
Kuroda stands next to Aoi-san and lightly pats her shoulder.
大切な妹を助けられなかった君も犠牲を払わなければな。心配しなくていい。これが終われば君には空野くんの肉体も記憶データも手に入る。
Kuroda's just trying to shift the blame onto her. If Aoi-san had been there when Serrano died, then maybe she could have saved her. Kuroda's using that kind of logic to cause Aoi-san to hate herself even more, and make her more susceptible to listening to him. Then he's showing her a potential path to redemption, a way to undo the past, a way for her to clear away her self-loathing. By doing so, he's making her think it's necessary to take this path. This is how Kuroda deceived and manipulated so many people.
葵さん、空野がさらわれたのはあなたのせいじゃない。過去をなかったことになんてできないはずです。俺にも葵さんにも。こんなことをしても一生満たされることなんてないんですよ、葵さん。
Aoi-san doesn't say anything. She just points the gun at me with trembling arms.
楠原君、結局君には人を殺す勇気などないのだ。君のダメなところはそこさ。たとえ能力を発現していても使う意志がなければ無価値だ。だが安心したまえ。その力は私が有効に使ってやろう。さて、もういいだろう。君たちには退場してもらおう。打ちたまえ、葵君。
Reina goes stiff beside me. I step in front of her to protect her. Aoi-san's whole body is trembling, and it looks like she'll pull the trigger at any minute. It doesn't look like I'll be able to get through to her anymore. However, I let out a long breath and slowly raise my hands.
わかりました、葵さん。
何が？
葵さんの決意がですよ。だから俺も覚悟を決めました。
I suddenly take a step forward. When I step forward, I feel my heart squeeze tight. Aoi-san puts her finger on the trigger.
ようやく引き金に指をかけましたね、葵さん。本当は打つ気がないんじゃないですか。
そんなこと。
いいんですよ、葵さん。葵さんは俺のことを撃ってもいいんです。
どうして？
だって葵さんの気持ち俺もよくわかるから。空野と話せるのなら、記憶だけでも手に入れられるならって今でも少し思います。だから
I take one more step forward. I still don't hear a gunshot.
やめ。
だからもし撃つなら、俺が死んだ後、空野がこれ以上ひどい目に遭わないようにしてください。そしてどうか。
I take one more step forward.
やめて！
Ah, I got shot. I hear a thunderous gunshot and feel a sharp pain in my right shoulder. So I've been shot. But I'm not dead yet. I take another step forward.
やめて。
And another.
葵さん、
I grab the gun and push it against my chest.
ここですよ。
I mean, no, Hiroki, you don't... You got close enough. You don't have to do that anymore. I hold the gun close so that Aoi-san can feel the beating of my heart. So that my feelings can reach her.
選んでください、葵さん。
I stand there, waiting for Aoi-san to answer. Regardless of the outcome, I won't have any regrets. I just don't want to see Aoi-san suffer any more than this. Eventually, Aoi-san starts sobbing. In the end, Aoi-san can't pull the trigger. I slowly put my hands on the gun.
も
I slowly take the gun from Aoi-san's hands, and then I shoot her in the face. Oh, okay. I guess not. Aoi-san starts wailing, and tears gush forth as if a dam had burst. I gently pat Aoi-san on the back. If things had been just a little different, I might have been the one pointing that gun at someone. It's a really depressing thought. Aoi-san just wanted to be forgiven. That's why she picked such a perilous path. She chose to throw herself into pain and suffering. But at the end of such a path is just more suffering. I look over to Reina and entrust Aoi-san to her. This wasn't a part of my plans. Well, fine, I'll just use the hand push on you again. I glare at Kuroda. I expect him to start ridiculing us. But instead he looks shaken. No, he looks pretty upset right now. Kuroda curses while holding his head in his hands. His expression is a mixture of annoyance and confusion. I signal Reina to take Aoi-san and get away from me. Kuroda swings wildly at the air in front of him. As he does so, space itself looks like it warps for an instant, and then the ground at Kuroda's feet cracks. The cracks start snaking towards us. I jump to the left to avoid them. The cracks travel all the way to one of the black pillars. The glass cracks and the air display vanishes. Then suddenly the pillar's lighting vanishes and the inside goes dark. The air around Kuroda grows heavy. It's coming. As Kuroda begins to move, I dash forward. We both start running towards each other, but I'm the one with the head start. I paint a picture in my mind of all the blood in my body flowing from my torso to the tips of my fingers and toes. As if following the outline of my image, a tingling feeling runs through my body. I throw a punch aiming for Kuroda's jaw. He doesn't seem like a, particularly fit person. He just has, special powers, Kuroda crosses his arms in front of him. Before my right arm can make contact, it's repulsed by an invisible wall of air. But it's not as powerful as before when it blew me away. In fact, it feels almost as if my arm manages to sink a little ways into the air wall. This time, I use my left fist and aim for his stomach. I'm blocked by yet another wall of air. But this wall of air is even weaker. One more push. I gather strength in my right leg and... but he does the hand! With his arm still crossed, Kuroda jabs his left hand out like a spear. I instantly try to change the trajectory of my kick, but I'm too late as I feel a stab of pain on my left side as air whooshes past my cheek. I grit my teeth in pain, but I still lash out again with another punch. I feel it blocked by another layer of wind. Meanwhile, Kuroda bends his left arm around the right side of his head. He then throws a wild backhanded haymaker at my temple. Sound effects. A powerful shockwave of air passes over my head. The strength of the wind pulls a few of the hairs off my head. However, I keep low enough to avoid a direct hit from Kuroda. But then a strong gust starts blowing in the direction that Kuroda swung in. Withstanding the sudden gust, I push off with my right foot, jumping slightly to the left. I move in close to Kuroda, putting myself as close to his torso as possible. Kuroda's body is pulled forward because of the force of his swing, leaving his entire torso completely unprotected. I pound my left fist into him as hard as I can. Using the power of his rotation, Kuroda brings his right hand down to block. He parries my fist downward with his hand. The parry knocks me off balance and I nearly fall over. However, instead of trying to resist the pull, I go with it and roll into the ground. But because of that, I end up turning my back to Kuroda. I make a split-second judgment and decide that it's more important to put as much distance between us as possible than to turn around. I sneak a quick sidelong glance back at Kuroda and see that he's unleashing another spear thrust. I roll slightly to the side to avoid a straight thrust. There's a hole drilled into the floor where I was a split second ago. I stand up and turn around to face Kuroda.
くそ、なんだというのだ、これは。貴様、何をした？
I rolled away from the thing. You probably saw me do it. Kuroda's been spouting incomprehensible stuff for a while now.
あんた、何を言ってるんだ？
Kuroda doesn't answer my question. He just takes his stance again.
こんなもの、貴様を殺してしまえば。
Kuroda starts to make another sweeping motion with his arms. But he stops halfway and covers both his ears with his hands.
何を言ってるんだ。うるさい、やめろ。
This is the opening I needed. This is my only chance to beat him. I charge at Kuroda.
黒だ。
I focus everything I have into my right arm in order to pierce through Kuroda's defenses at a single point. Kuroda feebly waves his right arm at me while groaning in pain. I don't even bother dodging. I don't want to stop my momentum even a bit. A strong gust of wind blows past me. I don't see anything pass by. But as the wind slams into me, a huge gash appears going from my right thigh all the way to the upper left half of my chest. Hiroki! Are you okay? But I don't stop. I throw all of my weight forward and raise my fist. And then I let it fly. I feel like we're a little far off. We got some more like electronic music here. Kuroda thrusts both hands forward. A wall of wind blocks my fist once more. But this time... Or is this the same music? I can't tell. It's been a little while. I think it's different though. This one sounds different. I'm gonna blow past it. I push forward with both legs. My fist slowly sinks deeper into the wall of air. I feel my fist shatter through some thin pain, and the resistance vanishes. My fist connects with Kuroda's face. The resounding impact of it reverberates throughout my body. Kuroda's body is blown backwards. No, wait, no, this might be the same music. I think I remember that sound. Kuroda's head crashes into the wall behind him, and he slowly slides to the ground. And that was enough excitement for there. Exciting music is gone. I stare at him warily, but it doesn't look like he's able to get up. I stare at my right hand. I was able to get back at him with this hand. I walk over to Serrano. Serrano's sleeping peacefully, not moving a muscle. Was I able to fulfill Serrano's wish?
ヒロキ、おそらくこの装置のシステムは黒田の MRD と連動している。
Reina says as she walks up beside me.
だから、黒田が気を失っているうちに。
ああ。
We can't waste the chance that Serrano gave us. I walk over to the collapsed Kuroda. He's definitely unconscious, but seeing as his shoulders are rising and falling slightly, he's probably not dead. We need some way to tie him up. Now that we've learned the truth, we need to tell the public about it, which means we need to make him talk somehow. I lean over to try and take Kuroda's MRD as I consider all this, but as I reach out my hand to take it off his left wrist... we should have expected this as a possibility. Kuroda thrust his right hand out towards me. I fly through the air and crash into the ground a few meters away. Trying to bear the pain, I lift my head up and see Reina running over to me. But behind her, Kuroda takes a gun out of his breast pocket. He then takes aim at Reina's back. I feel like he should have gotten the gun out a while ago, you know? Like, even while we're charging at him, pushing through his air wall, he could have just pulled the gun out with his other hand and bang. Game over. I guess, you know, overconfidence and insidious killer and stuff like that. Slow, insidious. A second later, I hear a gunshot. Reina collapses on top of me. Oh no, another bad end. Reina's face is right next to me. I hurriedly pull Reina into my arms and quickly check her back. But there's no blood anywhere. Wow. You aimed the wrong way, you idiot. Oh wait, no, that'd probably be, Aoi. I look over at Kuroda and see blood pouring out of his chest. Aoi-san's standing next to us, her gun pointed at Kuroda. Aoi-san's the one who fired. Kuroda backs into the wall and slides down, leaving a trail of blood behind him as he collapses. Reina and I stand up and head over to Kuroda. Yeah, why don't we grab the gun? I feel like guns are a much faster and direct way to the solutions that we wanted here. I guess we didn't want to kill him. That just kind of happened. Kuroda grins as blood dribbles out of his mouth. Kuroda points to a corner of the room with a trembling finger. We all look towards the corner of the ceiling that he's pointing to. He then takes out a gun and shoots all of us. There's a security camera there.
Kuroda!
Reina suddenly shouts. I look back at Kuroda and see that he's doing something in his MRD. Was he just trying to distract us so we could use it? I've got a bad feeling about this. I take my hand off Reina's shoulder and run over to Kuroda. But Kuroda just thrusts his left hand towards me and laughs. Suddenly, a warning noise blares throughout the room.
秘匿措置シーケンスが実行されました。本研究施設は20分後に爆破されます。各スタッフは避難してください。
Oh, well, that's convenient. Why do all, like, the bad guys... You think whenever they're building bad guy bases, that they, like... They rig them up with explosives? Like, as, you know, people... As they, like, contract people out to, like, do the construction, they, like, have... They have, like, special wall cavities set up, and then they have to hire in some kind of, like, explosive ordnance person to fill the wall with, like, bombs, just in case you might need it later, you know? What? This research facility is going to blow up?
今すぐこれを止めろ
I grabbed Kuroda's left wrist and shouted him. But Kuroda's already dead.
くそ